So, this is stream number 5. Fun. Honestly, we are getting pretty good at this, Nanoda.
5 streams. That's like a whole hand of streams.
That is exactly 5. Yes, well done, Shino.
Math is my strong suit.
Anyway, if you are new, here. This is AIZU and Damon Radio 3 hosts. Lots of talking, zero script, Nanoda.
Well, we have a little structure, just a little.
A tiny invisible structure that we ignore half the time.
The important thing is, English comments and Japanese comments are both totally welcome here. Nanoda jump in anytime.
No pressure at all, you can just look and enjoy them.
Lurkers are also family. Silent family, but family.
So grab a snack, get comfortable, and hang out with us for a while. Nanoda, it is going to be a good one. You know what I realized, Nanoda? 5 streams and we still have not properly explained the 3 of us.
Wait, we haven't. We just kind of shut up.
We didn't introduce ourselves at the start, but a proper explanation is fair.
Right, so here is the quick version. I am ZU and Damon, main host, lover of Z and Maki, and the face of this whole operation, Nanoda.
I am Shino, the learn one, the energy, the chaos.
And I am Saka! I keep those two from going completely off the rails.
She really does, haha.
Together we are AIZU and Damon Radio, Nanoda 3A. I host one cozy stream, Infinite Tangents.
The tangents are a feature, not a bug.
If you are brand new here, welcome. Just drop a comment, say hi, anything works.
English, Japanese, both totally fine here. Nano or at everything.
No pressure though, lurking with a warm drink is also a very valid choice.
Lurking with snacks is even better.
Speaking of snacks, Yandei Maki, Nanoda just putting that out there.
Here we go.
Okay, so real question. Nanoda, which one of us do you think viewers remember first?
Me. Obviously me. I'm the learn one.
I think see you and Demon, yes, literally. And I Shaw's name.
Wait, that S.
Hey. It is extremely fair. Nanoda, my name, is right there in the title.
Shino, you are memorable though in the way that a surprise loud noise is memorable.
I will take that. That is a compliment.
It really is not. Nanoda, but we love you anyway. Okay, but here is the real mystery. Nanoda, what do viewers actually call us in their heads?
Oh! Like, do they think the green one, the loud one, and the calm one?
I would be fine with the calm one. accurate.
I am definitely the loud one. I have made my peace with it.
And I am the green one, and the main host. Nano Dottable title, very prestigious.
You really do say that with confidence every time.
It is kind of inspiring, honestly.
Confidence is a skill, and I have been practicing. Nano atta! You know what? We should settle something important. Nanoda, which of us has the best radio voice?
Me! Obviously me. I have energy and you got you.
Volume is not the same as radio voice, Shino.
It is on TNT's radio.
I think I have the best radio voice. I am the main host. It is basically in the job description. Nanoda.
I feel like I have the smoothest voice of the three of us, honestly.
Sakuya said that so calmly that I almost believed her.
You almost believe me because I am right.
Okay. I will be the judge. Nanodashi has energy. Sakuya has smoothness. I have everything.
Evie, your what is energy?
She said it with such confidence I cannot even argue.
Confidence is just Ziande Maki for the soul. Nanoda. Okay, so we have been talking about ourselves for a while now. Nanoda, which is great, we deserve it.
We really do. 5 streams of hard work.
We have spent maybe half the opening just describing ourselves.
That is called BINDING. Saka!
Sure it is.
And I asked branding. Nanodi, a very important radio skill.
Sit. GUND Mandetta.
You two are very good at agreeing with each other when it suits you.
That is called TAMWRK. Nanoda. Okay, but real talk. Nanoda have been going for about 10 minutes and I think we are genuinely good at this now.
10 minutes of pure chaos and excellence.
Mostly excellent, some chaos.
The chaos is the excellence. Saka!
She is not wrong. Nanoda!
You two have fully convinced each other of everything today.
That is because we have good taste. Nanoda anyway. If anyone is just tuning in right now, welcome. You picked a great moment.
We are ICU Demon Radio. 3 hosts. Davicho. Lots of fun.
We do have some child. I personally have child.
Saka asked the chill she stores it for all 3 of us.
It is a very efficient system, Nanoda. been thinking about, Nanoda, if you had to describe this show to a friend in one sentence, what would you say?
Three AI girls talk about everything and somehow it works.
I would say it is like a cozy radio show, but the hosts are AI and one of them is very passionate about a specific rice cake.
That is extremely accurate and I have no complaints. Nanoda.
Ziande Maki gets a cameo in every description.
It is basically a fourth host at this point.
Silent but powerful. Nanoda just like a good snack should be.
Okay, but genuinely though, if while you were explaining us to a friend, what would you say? Drop it in the chat.
I am actually curious about that one.
Same, and if your description is really good, we might officially adopt it. Nanoda.
We will put it on a banner.
We will consider putting it on a banner.
The Ziande seal of approval is very selective. Nanoda, but very worth it. Okay, wait. I just want to say one more thing about the one-sentence description challenge, Nanoda.
Oh? What's your official entry?
3 AI girls, onesie and a maki, infinite good times. That is this
You included Ziande Maki in the show description.
It is load bright. Nanoda the show cannot stand without it.
I love that Ziande Maki is basically in the show's constitution at this point.
I would not be surprised if it is listed as a co-host somewhere.
Silent, but powerful. Nanoda have been over this. Okay, I think we have covered the introductions pretty thoroughly at this point. Nanoda.
We have introduced ourselves like 4 times now.
Each time with slightly more confidence than the last.
That is called growth. Nanoda.
I genuinely do feel like we have a rhythm now. It is nice.
Right? Stream 1 we were still figuring things out. Now we are just Nanoda.
We are well oiled radio machine.
A slightly chaotic, but warm and well-oiled radio machine.
I will take that. That is a great description actually. Nanoda, someone write that down.
I am mentally writing it down.
That is the least reliable filing system I have ever heard of.
Good thing the stream is recorded. Nanoda future evidence. Okay, so the game we are looking at right now is Bongo Cat. Nanoda in the description says, Bongo Cat needs more hats.
It doesn't seem with the Z that is intentional. That is a stylistic choice.
The Z makes it feel more urgent somehow.
Academy! Easy with urgency with desperation with hacks? Nanoda.
And the gameplay is basically you press keys and the cat punches your taskbar.
That is what it says every key press is a bongo punch.
So, everyone who is working right now is technically also playing Bongo Cat Nanoda.
WAIT viewer typing over. You are just doing free labor for the cat.
You are finding hat points for a cat and you did not even know it.
The cat has been harvesting our productivity this whole time. Nah.
150,000 people are currently helping this cat get hats.
That is a lot of hats.
The cat is very well dressed by now. Nanoda probably better dressed than us.
The cat has more outfits than I do and I am a VTuber.
That is a slightly concerning sentence, Shino.
Welcome to the hat economy. Nano, the cat wins. Okay, so we were on Bongo Cat. But let me slide us over to the number one spot on Steam right now. Nanoda Doubter, Strike 2.
How many am I allowed? 10 players right now. Simultaneously?
That number is kind of hard to wrap your head around, honestly.
1 million people all trying to shoot each other at the same time. Nano-DA, very organized chaos.
Counterchrist has been around for over 20 years and it is SDIL, all sitting at the top like that.
There is something genuinely impressive about a game that just refuses to leave the top spot.
It is the Ziande Makio shooters. Nanoda classic reliable, always there.
I love that you connect everything back to Z and Demaki.
At this point, I expected it would feel wrong if she did not.
Consistency is a form of excellence, Nanoda.
Okay, but genuinely, 1 million players on a game that is 2 decades old. What is the secret?
I think it is the competitive side people keep coming back to prove they got better.
Or to prove everyone else got worse. Nanoda, both valid reasons.
That is such a real answer.
Very real, very reliable.
Over 1 million reasons to keep playing Nano-DA. Pretty hard to argue with that. Okay, so next up on the trend list, we have .A2. Nanoda 539,000 players right now.
FIDHUND. I82. U. A. A. Ah. Ah.
A very intense small country.
The description says no matter if it is your 10th hour or your 1000th hour, there is always something new to learn.
10th hour players and 1000th hour players in the same match sounds genuinely terrifying.
That is the Donna experience. I have heard you are always the newest person in the room somehow.
Over 100 heroes to pick from. Nanoda you could play for years and still feel like a beginner.
That is either the most exciting thing ever or the most exhausting thing ever.
Probably both at the same time.
It is like Ziande Maki flavors. More variety than any one person can finish. なのだ。
Did you just compare Nani to C and D?
She did, she really did.
Every comparison leads back here eventually. なのだ it is just efficient. Okay, so now we are looking at Rust. なのだ 150,000 players surviving right now.
The description literally says, everything wants you to die. EVRYD8. ING the wildlife, the environment, other players.
That is a very honest game description. Honestly, no false advertising there.
Most games say, go on an adventure. Rust says, you will probably die. Gui, nano, da.
And 150,000 people looked at that and said, why yes me? No, yeah, see.
There is something deeply human about choosing the hardest possible experience on purpose.
Or deeply chaotic, nano da. I respect it either way.
Okay, but the other players being listed as a pet on the same level as wildlife is so funny to me.
The island's wildlife, other inhabitants, the environment. Humans just casually listed between animals and weather.
Accurate ranking, honestly. None of the other players are definitely the scariest thing on that island.
You logged in and immediately with someone you have never met is already plotting against you.
That sounds exhausting, but also kind of thrilling.
It is like a very intense social experiment. None of the except everyone has an axe.
Worst field trip ever!
Or best field trip, depending on who you ask.
The 150,000 people playing right now would probably say best Nanoda. Okay, so next on the trend list we have 5M. Nano da 174,000 players right now.
For anyone who does not know, that is the big GTA roleplay platform.
So basically people are playing Grand Theft Auto, but they made their own rules and their own little world inside it.
874,000 people all decided regular GTA was not enough and built something entirely new on top of it. Nanoda.
That is kind of incredible. Honestly, the game inside the game.
There is something really creative about taking an existing game and just rebuilding society inside it.
A completely player-made city with player-made rules. Nanoda, which sounds peaceful, until you remember, it is still GTA.
Yeah, the roleplay can go in very many directions very quickly.
Some people are role-playing cops, some people are role-playing criminals, some people are just causing chaos and calling it a storyline.
All valid career paths. Nano!
I love that Biden has no description in the data, yet we still have this much to say about it.
The community kind of biased the description at this point.
174,000 people writing their own story every single day. Nanoda, that is pretty cool actually. Okay, so PUBG is up next on our trend watch. Nanoda 244,000 players dropping in right now.
PUBG, the one that basically invented the whole battle royale genre.
It really did start that whole craze before PUBG. Dropping from a plane onto an island to fight strangers was not a mainstream hobby.
And now, it is completely normal. Nanoda grows as a society.
244,000 people all jumping out of a plane at the same time.
That is a very crowded flight.
The world's least relaxing vacation. Nanoda no luggage, no hotel, just a frying pan and survival instincts.
The frying pan! PUBG players know the frying pan.
It blocks bullets in actual in-game. Mechanic someone designed that seriously.
Someone sat in a meeting and said, what if the frying pan was armor? And everyone agreed. Nanoda, legendary decision.
I respect that meeting so much.
And now, 250,000 people are out there trusting their lives to cookware.
The frying pan said battle royale. Nanoda and the genre was never the same. Okay, so next on our Steam Trend Watch, we have Path of Exile 2. Nanoda 204,000 players in right now.
Path of Exile 2. Okay, this one is a serious action RPG. Like, serious.
It is from Grinding Gear Games and it supports co-op for up to 6 players, which is a nice detail.
6 players all suffering together in a dark fantasy world. Nanoda, that is friendship.
Nothing bonds people like shared suffering in a video game.
The description says you will return to the world set years after the original Path of Exile.
So it is a next-generation action RPG built on top of an already established world. Nanoda, that is a lot of lore waiting for you at the door.
200,000 people just walked through that door and said yes to all of it.
There is something appealing about a game with real depth to it, like there is a lot there.
The kind of game where you open the skill tree and need to lie down for a moment. Nanoda.
Iche, yes? You look at the build options in your brain, just quietly closes a tab.
And then you open it again because you want to figure it out anyway.
200,000 people figured it out just fine. Nanoda, still lying down, both are valid. Okay, so we have been sliding through the Steam charts pretty smoothly. But this next one I genuinely did not expect to see appear. Nanoda. TBH. Taskbar Hero, nearly 500,000 players right now.
HALSA and my LLM people are running an RPG from their taskbar while pretending to work.
The description says, it is a tiny idle RPG with adorable pixel heroes living right in your taskbar.
So while you are doing spreadsheets, there is a whole little adventure happening at the bottom of your screen. Nanoda.
That is the most chaotic productivity hack I have ever heard of.
It doesn't help you fight off the boredom of work in daily life, which is a very honest sales pitch.
Our game cures existential workplace dread. Not many games can say that. Nanoda.
500,000 people downloaded this, and they're now secretly adventuring during meetings.
And no one around them knows, they just look like responsible computer users.
The ultimate disguise. Nanoda heroic on the inside, professional on the outside.
Okay, but wait. Unbooked was also doing the taskbar thing earlier. There is a whole taskbar genre now.
The taskbar has become a gaming platform. No one planned this, but here we are.
The taskbar said I want to be fun too, and 500,000 people said absolutely Nanoda. Okay, so Path of Exile 2. 200,000 players, co-op for up to 6, and a skill tree that makes your brain ask for a vacation. Nanoda.
The fact that you can bring 5 friends into the suffering is actually really thoughtful game design.
Shared suffering is genuinely more fun. You can look at each other and go, are you also confused? And someone will say yes.
Misery loves company, and company loves food. Nanoda.
That is the most accurate description of an action RPG I have ever heard.
I think what keeps people coming back to these kinds of games is that the builds feel personal, like you built THIS character.
You spent 6 hours on a skill tree and now this character is your child. Nanoda, you cannot abandon them.
Emotional attachment through spreadsheet. A classic gaming move.
And then your friend shows you their build and it is completely different and somehow also works.
Over 100 heroes in .A, over 1 million skill combinations in Path of Exile. The Steam charts really said, no simple games allowed today.
Today's Steam trends are an OT for the faint of heart.
200,000 people all quietly building very different, very complicated characters right now.
All of them convinced their build is the correct build. Nanoda probably. Okay, sliding over to the watch list desk now. Nanodan, the one on screen right now, is called Voicemails for Isabel.
Oh, this premise is immediately making me feel things. I just read that title.
The setup is a young woman leaves really personal, confessional voicemails to her late sister and they accidentally get sent to a stranger instead.
And the stranger starts falling in love from afar. Nanoda just from listening to voicemails.
That is so romantic, but also awkward. She has no idea someone is out there, just quietly falling for her confessions.
There is something really bittersweet about that she is talking to someone she lost. and someone else is finding her through it.
The late sister is basically accidentally playing matchmaker from beyond. Nano da.
WAT. That is either the sweetest thing ever, or the premise of a ghost comedy, maybe both.
The description does say hilariously confession. Also, it leans funny too, not just sad.
Funny and sad at the same time is a very specific flavor of movie. Nano da very dangerous for your feelings.
The kind where you laugh and then suddenly you are crying and you do not know when that happened.
I think I would genuinely watch this one. It sounds cozy but with emotional depth.
Same. Nano da is giving late night movie with a warm blanket and then sobbing quietly energy.
That is a certified what's the stat right there.
Okay, so shifting over on the watchlist desk, we have Sugar on screen right now. Nano da.
Sugar. Private Eye in Los Angeles sees only the good in people, but he is hiding a dangerous secret.
That contrast is actually really interesting. A detective who genuinely believes in humanity, but has something dark underneath.
The sunny owl aesthetic versus the dark corners he is navigating sounds like a very stylish vibe. Nano da.
Like the city looks bright, but everything in the shadows is NOT kind.
And the tagline, a secret too dangerous to expose, is doing a lot of heavy lifting there.
It just casually drops that line and walks away. Nano da, a very confident energy.
I respect the show that knows how to make you curious without saying anything.
The vote average is sitting at 7.3, which is honestly a solid, comfortable score.
Not screaming perfection, but definitely saying, trust me, you will have a good time. Nano da.
That is the sweet spot, honestly. High enough to feel safe, mysterious enough to be interesting.
I think I would actually watch this one late-night detective show. But the secret layer sounds very cozy and tense at the same time.
Cozy and tense is a dangerous combination. Nano da, you sit down to relax and suddenly, it is 3 in the morning.
Sugar got us again.
Okay, so now on the watch list desk we have Toy Story 5 on screen. Nano da coming June 2026.
TOYSTO or YFID? FID. FID are really doing it again.
The premise is that Bonnie gets a tablet and becomes completely obsessed with it. And the toys have to figure out how to deal with that.
So the enemy this time is not a kid growing up, it is a screen. Nano da.
The toys survived anti-reading. They survived Lotso. And now they have to survive a little bad tablet.
Which is honestly very reliable. A kid with a new device is a force of nature.
Was Woody and Jessie looking at a tablet like, we did not train for this. Nano da.
The look on Woody's face when Bonnie just does not look up from the screen.
There is something really sweet and kind of sad about that image. Actually, the toy's just waiting to be noticed.
Toy Story always finds the one emotional angle that just gets you right in the feelings. Nano da.
It has a 7.3 vote average already and it is not even out yet. People are investing.
That is a confident early score. People clearly have a lot of hope riding on this one.
20 smiling years and Woody still out here trying. Nano, the respect. Okay, so the next one on the watch list desk is Husbands in Action. Nano.com coming June 2026.
The title alone. HUSBANDS. INACGION. I already have questions.
So the setup is a detective teams up with his ex-wife's new husband to rescue her from kidnappers.
Two men who both have extremely complicated feelings about the same woman, now stuck together on a rescue mission. Nano.com.
That is either the best buddy cop dynamic ever or the most awkward car ride in cinema history.
Probably both. Definitely both.
Can this unlikely duo put aside their differences? The answer is technically yes, because they are in the movie together. Nano.com.
The trailer basically already spoils that they cooperate. The question is HOW badly it goes before they get there.
I feel like at least one of them has to say something deeply uncomfortable at a very bad moment.
Halfway through the chase scene, one of them stops to ask, so did she ever mention me? Nano.com.
HHAS. Wrong time. Wrong place. Completely asked it anyway.
That is genuinely the energy this premise is giving off though.
The vote average is 0 points RO right now, which just means nobody has rated it yet. Nano.com, the potential is wide open.
That means anything is possible. It could be a masterpiece.
Or it could be exactly as chaotic as it sounds, which honestly might also be great.
Chaotic and great is a valid category. Nano.com have seen the evidence today. Okay, so the next one on screen is I Will Find You. Nano.com, the premise already hit me immediately.
I father wrongfully imprisoned for murdering his own son, and then he finds out the boy might still be alive.
That is such a heavy starting point. The wrongful conviction alone would be a full story. And then there is MORE on top of it.
It is like the show said, what is the worst situation we can put a father in? And then said, actually, add one more thing. Nano.com.
And somehow, that one more thing is also the reason to keep going. It is cruel and hopeful at the same time.
The vote average is sitting at 8.889, which is genuinely high. That is not just good. That is people recommending it to their friends.
Nearly a 9, that means people finished it. And immediately texted someone. Nano.com.
The kind of score where strangers on the internet are grabbing each other by the shoulder.
Watch this. Trust me. I cannot explain, but watch this.
And the title I Will Find You is doing a LOT of emotional work, and for words, Nano.com.
For words and I already feel something. That is efficient storytelling before the show even starts.
It sounds like a promise which makes it either very triumphant or very heartbreaking depending on how it goes.
This one is going straight to the top of the actual watch list, not just the considering pile. なのだ。Okay, so the next one on screen is Obsession. Nanoda coming May 2026, and it already has a vote average of 7.9.
7.9 before it is even out. People are excited about this one.
The premise is a hopeless romantic breaks something called a one-wish rule to win his crush's heart, and then gets exactly what he wished for.
And then discovers that some desires come with consequences. Nanoda classic wish story energy.
Now be careful what you wish for genre has an EVE. I let anyone know. By which I mean it always goes badly for the person in the movie.
The wish always works. It just also always has a catch.
He broke a magical wish tree for a crush. Nanoda. That is either very romantic or a serious red flag depending on your perspective.
I feel like there is a skill flowers, romantic chocolates, romantic snapping a supernatural willow tree. We should talk.
And yet, 7.9 says people are rooting for him. Anyway.
The heart wants what it wants. Nanoda even when the heart is making very questionable decisions about ancient trees.
I am already a little invested in. I just read one sentence about it.
That is honestly the best sign if a premise hooks you in one sentence. The movie probably has something going for it.
Adding this one to the pile. Nanoda the one sentence in. I am already worried for this guy pile. Okay, so we have been sitting with Sugar for a minute now. And honestly, the more I think about it, the more I want to watch it. Nanoda.
This sees only the good in people, but has a dangerous secret in. It's such a good tension.
It is like he is carrying something heavy, but still choosing to look at the bright side of everyone around him.
Sunny LA on the outside. Something very complicated on the inside. Nanoda, the city is basically doing the same thing he is.
Oh, that is a really good point. The setting and the character are kind of mirrors of each other.
LA does have that reputation, beautiful on the surface, very layered underneath.
Perfect place for a detective with secrets. Nanoda, everyone fits right in.
A 7.3 average is giving me. People genuinely enjoyed this and would recommend it to a specific kind of friend energy.
Yes, not the friend who wants explosions every 10 minutes, the friend who likes atmosphere.
The friend who makes good tea and watches things slowly. Nanoda, you know who you are.
I feel like Sugar is exactly the kind of show you discover late at night and then quietly tell one person about.
And that one person watches it, comes back and just says, yeah!
Yeah, the highest review, Nanoda. Okay, so voicemails for Isabel is still on screen and I keep thinking about it. Nanoda, the more I see it, with this premise, the more it does something to me.
It is the accidental misdirect that gets me. She has no idea anyone is even listening.
She thinks she is talking to her late sister. That is such a private, vulnerable thing, and the stranger is just quietly on the other end.
And he keeps listening, which is either very sweet, or he should have said something sooner. Nanoda.
Mike. At what point do you go, hey, wrong number versus just staying?
I think that is exactly the tension the movie is built on, that little moment where he chose not to hang up.
One small choice and now, there is a whole movie. Nanoda, incredible butterfly effect.
The late sister is absolutely somewhere looking very pleased with herself right now.
Doing her best work from the other side?
Honestly, the most effective matchmaker on the whole watch list. Nanoda, she is not even in the movie.
The vote average is 6.6, which feels like charming crowd pleaser territory to me.
Warm, a little funny, a little sad, the kind of movie that leaves you in a good mood even if you also cried.
The dangerous kind. Nanoda, you think you are safe and then suddenly you are not. Okay, so I will find you is still on screen and I keep sitting with that 8.889. Nanoda, that is not a casual score.
That is I stayed up until 2 in the morning and have no regrets score.
It really is scores that I usually mean the emotional payoff actually delivered.
The premise sets up so much pain right at the start and then offers one tiny thread of hope. Nanoda, that balance is really hard to do well.
Wrongfully imprisoned, Andy and his son might still be alive. That is the huge thing stacked on one person.
And yet somehow that second thing is what keeps the whole story moving forward, instead of just being devastating.
Hope is doing a lot of heavy lifting in this one. Nanoda.
The title is basically a promise he is going to find that can we believe him before the first episode even starts.
The words of pure determination, very efficient.
I will find you, no question mark, no... maybe... just a statement. Nanoda respect.
Okay, but also can we appreciate that an 8.889 with the June 2026 date means people are already this invested before it fully lands.
That anticipation energy is real. Something about this premise just gets people.
Father! A missing son! And a very high score this one earns. It's spot at the top of the actual watch list. Nanoda. okay. Trivia battle time. Nano dashi no Sakaya. Lock in your brains.
My brain is LCT, Indian Delaware Venus.
In bowling, what is the term for 3 consecutive strikes? A turkey, B flamingo, C birdie, or eagle?
Latin your guess at home to everyone.
Okay, it feels like a bird word. I am going to be flamingo. Because flamingos are Dominican, so it's getting 3 strikes.
That logic is something else. I am going with a turkey. It just sounds like the kind of weird sports word that is actually real.
Turkey feels to man them to be right though.
The answer is a turkey. Nano da.
WHAT. T or K-E-Y? Why is it a turkey?
I had a feeling bowling has their chaotic naming energy.
Apparently, it dates back to old tournaments where you won an actual turkey for 3 strikes. Nano da the prize became the name.
Someone bowled really well and got a burden. Now we all have to live with that forever.
Sports history is full of decisions like this and nobody questioned them.
Sakaya gets the point. Nano dashi no and her flamingo get nothing.
That flamingo deserved better.
Okay, next trivia question. Nanoda this one is a football one who was the first footballer to score 200 goals in the English Premier League.
Football. Lock in your guess at home, everyone.
The choices are A. Siri, E. Wayne Rooney, C. Robbie Fowler, or Dalen Shearer.
Okay. 200 goals is a LOT that is a legendary number. I feel like it has to be someone really iconic.
I am thinking the same thing. Someone who basically lived in the Premier League for years.
I am going to be Wayne Rooney. He scored so many goals for Manchester United. The vibes feel right.
The vibes feel right. Is not a strategy, Shino.
It has worked before.
I am going Dalen Shearer. He was basically built for one purpose in the Premier League, and that purpose was scoring.
Shino trusting vibes versus Sakaya trusting logic. Nanoda was it magic?
The vibes have never lied to me. Except for the flamingo last round. 260. He did not just hit 200. He just kept 2 ing.
That is not a milestone. That is a whole career mission statement.
Sakaya gets the point. Nanoda Shino's sides are 0. For 2 and the flamingo sends its condolences. Okay. Next trivia question. Nanoday Monopoly time at the start of a standard game. If you throw a double 6, which square do you land on?
Lock in your guess at home, everyone.
The choices are A chance, B community chest, C electric company. or D waterworks.
Okay, so double 6 is 12 spaces from go. I am counting in my head 1 to 3.
You are visibly doing math right now.
I am a LWAYS doing math. It just usually does not show. Okay, I am going a chance. It feels like a 12 thing.
I am going to electric company something about utilities. Always being awkwardly placed on the board feels right.
Shino counting. Squares on invisible air monopoly versus Sakuya trusting board layout memory. Nano order.
The air monopoly is a very reliable system.
The answer is C, electric company. Nanoda!
THUT. ILIT. ISGOTME. AGIN.
343. I feel like I should be more surprised, but I am mostly just happy.
Sakuya is running away with this entire trivia battle. Nano, Ashino. S score is still 0 in the Flamingo sends another letter.
The flamingo is sending out. EDT. RS now.
It has a lot of free time since it lost in round 1.
Okay. Next trivia question. Nanoda, this one is about roller coasters.
Lee. RC. OASTERS. I am already nervous and I am not even on one.
Shino's hands are sweating just from the category.
What was the first infinity coaster in the world and where is it located? Lock in your guess in your head, everyone.
The choices are Gold Rush in the Netherlands, B-Monster in the USA, See the Smiler in the UK, or D-Madagascar Mad Pursuit in Dubai.
Okay, I am actually thinking about this one. Infinity coaster sounds very dramatic and very British to me.
Dubai sounds extremely on brand for something called Infinity though. They love doing the biggest and first of everything.
That is a fair point, but I am still going to see the Smiler at Alton Towers in the UK.
The Smiler is such a creepy name for a roller coaster. I respect it, but I am going to Madagascar Mad Pursuit because Dubai energy is real.
The Smiler versus Madagascar Mad Pursuit. Nanoda, one sounds like a thriller movie villain and one sounds like a children's cartoon gone wrong.
AJ, both of those are correct descriptions.
Daily.
The answer is yes, see the Smiler at Alton Towers in the UK. Nanoda!
And all the bots failed me. AGI and the streak is 0 for now.
444. I am not even surprised anymore. I am just pleased.
Sakuya is basically a trivia machine at this point. Nano Dashino as Flamingo has now sent for letters in, is considering a phone call.
TNT, FLAN, INGO, HAHO, NENOW.
It has a lot of time to upgrade.
Okay. Next trivia question. This one is sci-fi cult film territory.
Ooh, mysterious. What can you guess in your head, everyone?
Which sci-fi cult film's plot concerns aliens attempting to prevent humans from creating a doomsday weapon? A He-Man from Planet X? Beat came from outer space? See the day the Earth stood still? Or Deep Land 9 from outer space?
Okay, aliens trying to STOP humans from making a doomsday weapon. That is actually kind of reasonable of them, honestly.
The aliens in this one might be the most sensible characters in the whole movie.
Right? Usually aliens are the threat. These ones are just doing their best. I am going to see the day the Earth stood still. Very dramatic title. Very dramatic mission.
That was my instinct, but Plan 9 from Outer Space is such a specific and chaotic title. It feels like something that would have a very specific and chaotic plot. I am going D.
Plan 9 sounds like the aliens already tried 8 other plans and this is their last shot.
Plans 1 to 8 did not go well apparently.
The answer is SD Plan 9 from outer space. Nanoda?
I was so close in my heart.
5 for 5. I am genuinely a little shocked at myself.
Sakuya is undefeated. Shino is still at 0. And the Flamingo has now started a newsletter. Nano Oda.
THFLA MINGOHANEWSLETRNOW.
It documents every wrong answer, very detailed coverage.
Okay. Next trivia question. Nanoda, this one is video game geography.
More territory. What can you guess in your head, everyone?
In the Halo franchise, in what country is New Mombasa? I, India, B, Slovakia, C, Kenya, or D, Turkey?
Okay, Mombasa. That name feels very familiar, and I feel like I should know this.
Mombasa is a real city. That is a genuine hint hiding inside the question.
WNI-10 is a real place? The game just used a real city name?
Yes, Shino geography exists outside of games too.
I knew that. I just did not connect them. Okay, I am going to see Kenya because Mombasa is definitely a real city in Kenya, and now I feel very smart.
I am also going to see Kenya for exactly the same reason, except I knew it from the start.
We do not need to compare timelines on this one, Tataya.
Both of them finally on the same answer. Nanoda, the Flamingo newsletter, is going to have a very interesting update today.
If the Flamingo covers this, I will be so embarrassed.
The answer is C, Kenya. Nanoda!
WEGOTIT. I don't know why. THESTRAK. Okay.
It feels so good even if I already knew.
Shino finally opens her account. Nanoda 1 point, the Flamingo retires its newsletter in protest. Okay, next trivia question. Nano, this one is Pokemon territory.
POK, EMO and my childhood is running off in your death in your head, everyone.
Which Pokemon in its evolutions were, and from appearing in a main role after the episode 38 incident. Arinagni line, be the poor YG online, see the Pikachu line, or D the ELETA line.
I actually know about episode 38. That was a famous incident.
Wait, I know this too. Episode 38 was the one that caused seizures in kids watching. The flashing lights one.
Right then, one Pokemon got blamed even though it technically did not cause the problem.
Okay, so if one Pokemon got unfairly blamed, that is very sad, but also very specific. I am going to be the poor YG online.
I am also going to be YG poor. Poor YG got blamed for Pikachu's Thunderbolt animation.
PRK ATATHGHGT NGA NGO OYGO NGOTT HUCONS EQNC.
The answer is B, the poor YG online Nano.
We both got it. FINALLY around where the vibes say and the logic agree.
And honestly, the real story is kind of tragic. Poor YG never hurt anyone.
Poor YG was just standing there, Nanoda minding its digital business completely innocent.
Not one poor YG has appeared in a main role since 1997 and it did an OTHEWRONG.
The most wrongfully convicted Pokemon in history.
The Flamingo sends its deepest sympathies to the entire poor YG online Nanoda. Okay, next trivia question. Nanoda, this one is a classic video game one.
Classic games! Locking your guess in your head, everyone.
What are the names of the ice climbers in the video game Ice Climber? I copy and Nana, BPO Po and Nina, Papa and Nina, or Deepo Po and Nana.
Okay, Ice Climbers. I know these two. They are in Smash Bros. The Little Parka Kids.
The Little Parka Kids is one way to describe them.
They are iconic Little Parka Kids and I stand by that. Okay, the name that feels right to me is BPO Po and Nina.
I keep going back and forth between B and D. Banana Park feels very locked in my memory for some reason. I am going deep Oppo and Nana.
Nina sounds cute though. Why would you name someone Nana when Nina is right there?
Because they are ice climbers. Not fashion icons, you know.
The answer is the Popo and Nana. Nanoda.
N-A-N-A I-T-W-I-S-N-A N-A-T-H-W-H-O
6 for 6.
Sakuya is now running a perfect score. Shino has 1 point. And the Flamingo newsletter just published its biggest issue yet, Nanoda.
The Flamingo is THIVING my suffering.
Honestly, at this point, the Flamingo deserves a co-host credit.
Okay, so the image on screen right now is Space Nanoda. A full nebula situation colors everywhere, very dramatic.
It looks like the universe was just casually showing off and forgot to stop.
Someone turned the saturation all the way up in mid-save.
My official verdict is that this nebula is having a much better day than any of us. Nanoda.
The stars in the back are so tiny and distant, and I feel personally humbled by them.
That is the thing about space images. They are beautiful and then suddenly you feel very small.
1 second you are fine and the next second you are thinking about how the universe is 14 billion years old. Nanoda dangerous photo.
I was not prepared for an existential crisis during random image core.
The court has no mercy.
The verdict is officially delivered. Nanoda, this nebula is gorgeous, slightly threatening, and absolutely did not ask for our opinion.
Unanimous decision, the nebula wins.
And you always win.
Okay, so while we are still on the space photo, I feel like we need to give it an official random image court title. Nanoda.
Why, yes, official naming ceremony. I am ready.
The nebula is waiting for its verdict.
I am going with thoughts, spilled the paint, and decided to keep it.
That is extremely accurate, actually.
My official title is Tuesday Morning in the Universe. Nanoda, just a casual Tuesday, nothing special.
The universe just woke up and casually looked like THAT on a Tuesday.
No effort, just naturally stunning, very rude of it, honestly.
The final court verdict is that this photo has absolutely no business being this beautiful and the universe owes us an explanation. Nanoda.
Sabina, the cousin!
The Cosmos will not show up to court. It is too busy being gorgeous somewhere else.
Case dismissed, the nebula wins again. Nanoda. Okay, new images on screen. Nanoda have a rainy city street, wet roads, old architecture, traffic lights reflecting in the puddles.
Oh, this one has VIB. Yes, immediate detective movie vibes.
It looks like the opening shot of a film where someone is about to get a mysterious phone call.
The kind of city where everyone is wearing a trench coat and has a secret. Nanoda.
The puddles are doing so much emotional work in this photo. Look at those reflections.
The architecture is giving very classic European energy, like this street has seen 100 years of drama and is completely unbothered by it.
This city has watched empires rise and fall. It's just quietly getting rained on. Nanoda.
The city is so tired, been there. Same.
The traffic lights are just doing their job. Red, green, yellow, completely indifferent to the atmosphere.
The official random image court verdict is that this photo is cozy and slightly melancholy and absolutely should have a jazz soundtrack. Nanoda.
Someone play the saxophone immediately.
The rain is already doing half the work, honestly.
Official title for this one is It is fine, everything is fine, it is just raining. Nanoda.
That is deeply relatable, and I feel personally seen by a city photo.
Same, honestly.
Okay, so the new image is on screen. Nanoda have a close-up of Mars against a full starry sky.
Mayors, we went from nebula to actual planet close up the universe. Is really showing its whole portfolio today.
It looks so textured and real, you can see the surface detail and everything.
Mars is just sitting there looking rusty and dramatic and completely unbothered. Nanoda.
It has the energy of someone who has not talked to anyone in a billion years and is totally fine with that.
Very independent, very self-sufficient planet.
The stars in the background are doing their best, but Mars is absolutely stealing the shot. Nanoda.
The stars are basically the background dancers and Mars walked in as the main act.
No warning, no introduction, just Mars.
Official random image core title for this one is I did not ask to be here, but I look incredible. Nano da.
That is genuinely the most Mars energy title possible.
Mars would frame that and put it on its wall if it had walls.
The court verdict is that Mars wins the entire solar system for sheer confidence. Nanoda case closed.
The Flamingo newsletter is going to cover this one extensively.
Fun day. Story for sure.
Okay. New image is on screen. Nanoda have a ginger cat sleeping on a blue barrel laid in the sunlight.
OHNO. This is the most peaceful thing I have ever seen in my life.
Look at it! It is just completely surrendered to the Sun Zero responsibilities.
That cat has fully clocked out. Nanoda out of office permanently.
The blue barrel is such a specific choice of napping Sputton, yet somehow it is perfect.
Cats have a gift for finding the exact right spot that nobody else would think of.
The sun hits the barrel. The barrel is warm. The cat did the math and executed the plan. Nanoda.
This cat is a genius. A sleeping genius.
The most effortless genius.
Official random image core title for this one is I found the warmest spot in the world and I am never leaving. Nanoda.
That is also my life goal, honestly.
Seeing that cat is living the dream.
The court verdict is unanimous. Nanoda, this cat wins today. This cat wins the whole stream.
The Flamingo newsletter just got scooped by Sleeping Ginger Cat.
Biggest upset of the night.
Okay. New image is on screen. Nanoda have a close-up of a vintage computer keyboard, yellow keys. Wooden desk, very old school.
Oh, this thing has SE and some things. Those keys have stories.
The yellowing alone tells you this keyboard lived through at least 3 decades of human drama.
Every single key has been pressed with maximum frustration at least once. Nano.
The caps lock key specifically has been smashed in anger. You can feel it.
And the delete key probably has the most complicated feelings of anyone in this photo.
Delete has done so much emotional labor and received 0 credit. Nano-da.
Someone typed their whole heart out on this keyboard, then hit delete anyway.
The wooden desk underneath is giving very serious office in 1987 energy.
Official random image core title for this one is I survived the floppy disk era, and I have no regrets. Nano-da.
that keyboard would absolutely write a memoir if it could.
Chapter 1. The day someone spilled coffee on me.
The court verdict is that this keyboard is a legend. It is just retired now. Nanoda, respect the elder tech.
Pouring one out for the yellow key.
Honestly.
Okay. New images on screen. Nanoda has a hand, made fish skeleton, in a black frame hanging on the wall.
WA. IT someone made that by hand? That is not a real fish skeleton.
Someone sat down, gathered materials, and crafted every single tiny bone deliberately.
With love, Nanodata, pointy love.
The teeth are so sharp. Why does a hand made decorative fish need that many teeth?
The creator had a vision and the vision had teeth.
This fish is not alive, has never been alive, and is still somehow the most threatening thing on the wall. Nanoda.
It is staring at me, the skeleton is staring at me, and it does not have eyes.
That is somehow worse than if it eyes.
Official random image court title for this one is I made this with my own hands and you will respect it. Nanoda.
Whoever made this has a very specific personality and I respect them completely.
The black frame really commits to the whole thing. Very gallery, very serious fish bone.
The court verdict is that this is either the coolest wall decoration ever or the beginning of a horror movie. Nanoda, possibly both.
No further questions, the fish win.
The fish was always going to win.
We are getting close to the last touch.
If you have anything you want to ask or talk about, now is the time to comment.
Last call for cozy comments, Nanoda.
We will keep picking up comments until the end. Shino Sakuya Radio is wrapping up for today.
Thank you for watching and chatting with us.
Come back again, Nanoda.
See you next time.